I'm
Come on.
13, 14, and all of this here. I've watched my dad cuss my mom out all the time, and they're always arguing. They're always arguing, or they're split, right? And so you go see your dad on the weekend and such, and it's that passive stuff. Maybe she's not saying overtly, your dad's a piece of shit, but she'll do stuff like, oh, did you have fun at your dad's today?
Yeah.
What y'all do? What y'all do? Oh, we went to the park. Why did he take you to the park? What'd you guys eat? We had pizza and such and such. Oh, pizza. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm gonna cook for you? Are you hungry? I'm gonna cook your favorite. We're gonna have such and such. And those small things line up in a kid because their minds are sponges. And we don't have the proper tools to build kings. We're just doing kind of the best we can. Our
That's
our
right.
favorite rapper is our idol instead of our
Mm.
father, because our father figure may not be there. What's up, family? I am Six, and this is the Crime Chronicles. Welcome. Today, I have a very special guest, a Instagram influencer. This guy is into the motivational thing. Like he has this positive flow of energy and keeps it 100. Local philanthropist, giving back to the community, has a great thing going on. This is a good friend of mine, good friend of the channel, Drex. What's going on, Drex?
Hey, man, what's going on with you, my brother? How you feeling?
Man, I can't complain, man. It's hot over this way. Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Where you from? What you got going on, man?
Dude, I'm from Tampa, Florida. Originally, I was born in Miami, raised in Tampa. I'm from Tampa, Florida. At the age of 6 years old, I was put into like a juvenile facility. So I was raised in the foster care facility of Tampa, Florida. And the place
Yeah.
where I was put into was called Lake Mag. It was called Lake Magdalene. It was a place off of Dale Mabry. And I don't know if it's still up or not, but I know back when I went, it was ran by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So,
So
that's the
you did that kind of circuit of foster care, all growing up, detention centers, and
yeah, like you already know, living in Tampa, you got Lake Mag, then from there you back in the day they used to call it WT Edwards.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they call it now, but I know back then it was there. So my life was pretty much foster care until I turned 18 years old.
Okay. What happened
Yeah.
after that?
After that, I got in the street and I tried to figure out everything as fast as I humanly possibly can. Had a couple of run-ins with old Judge Heinrich back in the day.
Wow, that's a blast from the past, man.
Yeah,
So I'm
and
gonna tell you about Judge Heinrich, man. Just a quick sidebar. So Judge Heinrich, if you remember, had a thing with checks, worthless checks. I don't know if you kind of knew his thing, but he would sentence you to a year per check, whatever check, because check charges back in our
yeah,
time was like fraud was growing, but a big thing. So I went in front of this man with 23 worthless check charges. 23. Judge Heinrich said, I'm going to sentence you to 23 years, but 1 year after the other. So you will do 23 calendar years in the county jail because that's
consecutive.
was his jurisdiction for each check, worthless check.
Yeah.
Or you think you can find somebody to pay some of this off? When
Mm.
I tell you, I call every Santa Claus, I call all old I pulled all my old Santa, Allah,
Yeah.
everybody. I pray. Yeah, I got that together. But that was his thing. But go ahead. Yeah. Judge Heinrich, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah. So and this is a story. It's a story within a story. I was dealing. It was a thing I did with a cousin of mine. It was dealing in stolen property, right?
Hmm.
So this was back in the day when the Nokia Digital Plus phone had first come out,
Okay.
and everybody wanted one. So, at that time, I was working at McDonald's off of 56th and Fowler, right?
Okay. Okay.
And this dude ran up to me. He said, "Yo, man, I got these cell phones and these credit cards." And I'm like, "Bro, I ain't finna mess with the credit cards, but the cell phone right there." So I got the cell phone, and I end up paying, bro. I end up paying $7 for that phone, right? $7. So I'm using the phone. I'm giving people my number. I'm telling them this is my phone. They calling me on the phone. See, back then, but still not. You had the star 69.
Right.
So that's how I got the number. I called me and I star 69. I got the number.
Okay.
So, but then whoever phone it was, they cut the phone off. And my brother told me, he said, "Dre, you need to throw that phone in the river or something, man." And he said, "Trust me, man, just get rid of it." I ain't want to get rid of it. So I ain't gonna say his name, but a close person of mine wanted the phone. And I said, "Bro, the phone ain't no good, right? The phone ain't no good. You ain't gonna be able to get it recrystallized because they turned the phone off. It's a stolen phone." I said, "So they're not gonna." I said, "If you take it to the store, they're gonna look it up and they're gonna find that the phone is stolen."
Okay.
I went in the back room and he took the phone from me and left the house.
Stole it.
He stole it from me, right?
Okay.
So then, so then, make a long story short, I guess what happened is he sold it to somebody else, and that person went and tried to turn it on. When they tried to turn it on, they got on
Got booked.
him. He told on him, and then that person ended up saying that I was the originator of the phone. So we was at King High School, right, off of 56,
56.
56 and Sly,
Yep.
right,
Yep.
and
Yep.
came and got me from the school, man. And come to find out, the phone belonged to a retired police sheriff's wife. And the detective told me the only reason why they even really put time into it was because of that. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
So I spun, but here's the thing. So I had a felony on my record, right? But I didn't even understand, I didn't understand what Judge Heinrich did, right? He withheld adjudication of guilt. You familiar with that? All right,
Hmm.
so I didn't understand what that meant until about 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
You understand? So all that time I had been living life as though I was a convicted felon,
Yeah.
not knowing that in the state of Florida, when they give you a withhold of adjudication, that you don't, even though it's on your record, you don't have to live under the consequences of a person that has actually been convicted. Know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
So
that
it registers in the judicial system. But for those who don't know what withhold is, and that's just one of those last chance, second chance programs that this state, that's what they call it. Our county call it withhold adjudication. But pretty much everywhere they have that next step, next
that's right.
chance.
Like Pete, something like that.
Right. So in every difference, I've been locked up some everywhere, and there's always some type of second chance, something. That's our version, and it withholds whatever felony, because usually those are felonious charges.
Yeah,
And once you're at that first, okay, you got one more shot before we start sentencing you to probation and all of that stuff. We'll plead guilty and we'll withhold that adjudication. So you're guilty with us, we know, but you can go out and fill out and check the box for no, I haven't been
exactly.
of a felony. But you didn't know that. That's interesting. So all this time you've been filling out or avoiding certain jobs
Yeah,
because wow,
so it's
wow.
like, whereas scripturally it says that our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? So
Yep.
I was actually living my life under the auspices that there's certain jobs that I can't get. So don't even try. There's certain
Don't even
things that
try.
I can't do. So don't even try. And it wasn't until like 3 years, maybe 3 years and 5 months ago, when I went to call and clear up the last little piece of fine that I had like $78 I had to pay. And when I called the clerk, she said, "Man, the judge withheld adjudication of guilt. And I said, well, what does that mean? She said, well, that means that you still have your right to possess a weapon and you still got your right. I said, wait a minute. I said, I could buy a pistol. She said, yeah. She said, you didn't, that's what that means. I mean, where I live now is in South Carolina, and South Carolina is kind of like this. I don't know if every state's like this, but I know that if you even go and try to fill out the paper for a weapon, and you knowingly know that you're not supposed to have a weapon, they can charge you for that.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I've been a felon for a very long time.
Yeah.
So those privileges and shots at that doesn't apply to me. Hasn't applied to me for a very long time.
Yeah.
But and I'm a big gun activist. Like I feel like a grown man is supposed to own a weapon to protect his, because I'm a big advocate of what a man's responsibility is supposed to be.
Facts.
Not
Me
not
too.
a jit, not a jit, not a male that is of age like a man, you know.
Yeah.
But and not just 18, over 18. I don't even know what the age limit is for weapons. I know that I've had weapons in my home from very young. And I know my dad at a very young age was like, here you go. This is what a gun is. This is how you break it down. This will kill you. When you play with this, it will hurt you and kill you. If you play with this, there is no forgiveness.
That's right.
Like when you want to see it, you're curious about it. Me and you can hang out. We'll close the door away from the mom, and you can hold the gun and all of that. But this is not a toy. This is a weapon that is meant to kill people. And
That's
that
right.
was laid out to me very early. Consequently, I never had the urge to go and play with the gun as young. Like that thought never crossed my mind. Let me go run and ain't nobody home. I'm finna, go in the mirror and do whatever. That never crossed my mind. That was like something that I knew exactly where it was, or they were. I knew where they were. I just didn't mess with them. That just wasn't. That was one of those adult things that. But I think that's the problem with family and raising kids and raising a man. You know what I mean? Like it's communication. Stuff is so simple with where we go wrong as like a family, as a community, as a culture. It doesn't take complex algorithmic breakdowns and social studies. Yeah, I think stuff is bare root, and it starts with the very, very simple things like you need a man and a woman to raise a child, and you need to raise that child consistently. The iPad can't raise your child like you have to. There's a lot of things that have been taken out of raising kids these days that.
That's the difference. See the difference when we were coming up, we had to develop real social skills. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We I remember the time when I had 40, 50 numbers in my head. You know what I mean? I could just
Yep.
rattle off those numbers
Yep.
like a Rolodex. You know what I mean? Though my father was never there, I had mentors in my life, male men. You know what I mean? And those men taught me how to have accountability, right? Those those men taught me simple things like proper hygiene. You know what I
As
mean?
a man. Yep.
As a man,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
just the things that are not being taught right now, and that's why we have so many kids right now that are running around with the gun, right? Killing, robbing, and stealing. Don't have any idea. Don't have any moral compass.
They run around. It's funny you mentioned that, you say that, and I attest like a lot of the YN stuff to like a lack of a man helping develop this young man, because like I received lessons really early. Like I remember my dad saying like, all right, I'm finna leave, you're the man of the house. And
Mm,
I remember taking pride in that, like I'm the protector of the house. And I feel like that's a role that that's only something that a man can instill in a boy,
That's right.
that responsibility. And as a child, you listen to a father different than you listen to a mother.
That's
Like
right.
my mom and my stepmom, I was raised with stepmom, dad, and like my mom was kind of the disciplinarian in that house, and then my dad was more of my friend, tried to be the good cop, bad cop. He was the good cop kind of, but like his fatherly dad word was gospel.
Yeah.
Don't let me call your dad such and such. Please don't, and let's negotiate. You know what I mean? And I think that's lost. That aspect is lost. And like guys are just get I see it all the time in like Instagram beefs and rants when like the young cats now, man, F that, man, this no F that, man, these cats got to see about me. So that to me, that's very feminine because men don't get emotional like that regardless. Like if you feminize the words, it would have been these pussy ass, can't
That's
deal with
right.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same rant, except done with masculine words. Men are stoic. Like the man of the house is a foundation. And when the man comes home, the wife is pulling on his coat because she's stressing. The kids are going through it. He's stressing. The man's role is to be stoic and to be the rock.
Yeah.
And that
Well, you
lesson, yeah,
touching on
that
a lot
lesson
of
has
stuff.
been, it's been lost. So, and there are studies where you develop your character between the ages of like 7 and 13,
Now,
6
watch
and
this. Watch this. I had read a book by Dr. Amos Wilson, right? And he talked about how that children without under just psychologically, right, subconsciously will imprint their parents. Men, other words, they will imprint them. They look up at them and they imprint them, right?
yep.
And so I even have a lot of white friends, and I tell them straight up, I say, listen, when in the Caucasian home, right? 85, 90%, the man is the one that is a provider. The man is the one that is the authority in the
Yep.
home. And the female is subjected to that man. And the children are looking at this. You know what I'm saying? And so they're forming their idea of what the man is supposed to be, and they're forming their idea of what the woman is supposed to be, right? So when they grow up, they automatically fall into that, right? They see in most other cultures, they see the man the one that's the boss. He's the one that's delegating authority. He's the one that's making big decisions in the home, and he or she sees the mother just, you know, underneath that man, pushing that man, doing the right thing. In a lot of our culture's home, we see something different growing up as children. We
So,
see
and that perpetuates
that
because when,
perpetuates.
yep. So
Exactly.
I'm
Come on.
13, 14, and all of this here. I've watched my dad cuss my mom out all the time, and they're always arguing. They're always arguing, or they're split, right? And so you go see your dad on the weekend and such, and it's that passive stuff. Maybe she's not saying overtly, your dad's a piece of shit, but she'll do stuff like, oh, did you have fun at your dad's today?
Yeah.
What y'all do? What y'all do? Oh, we went to the park. Why did he take you to the park? What'd you guys eat? We had pizza and such and such. Oh, pizza. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm gonna cook for you? Are you hungry? I'm gonna cook your favorite. We're gonna have such and such. And those small things line up in a kid because their minds are sponges. And we don't have the proper tools to build kings. We're just doing kind of the best we can. Our
That's
our
right.
favorite rapper is our idol instead of our father, because our father figure may not be there. So like the whole model is crazy, and it's crazy on a scale where the government recognizes it and gives you affirmative action if you choose to prolong you, because they recognize if you're a minority, I'm gonna give you X amount of points just for checking the black box. because we know that been afforded different things. I saw Instagram post, and it is so dope to me. Like high school kids were lined up on a fence on their football field, and the coach said we're gonna have a race, and $100 at the end of this race, but I'm gonna give you guys head starts, 1 step head starts, but you have to answer these questions. If you've never had to wonder where your next meal is coming from, take a
Hmm.
step forward. If you've never had, if you've had to wonder where your dad is, take a step forward. So he asked all these pointed questions at how we were raised. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the 10 questions, 15 questions or so, it was just abundantly clear. All the black kids were still against the fence, maybe a few steps, and all these white kids. And he said, I want y'all to watch right there. Look at what you're seeing. Turn around, look at what you're seeing. And this race is a life. And you guys have this head start on all these people. And these are not bad things. This is just what it is. And it was so profound to me because all these questions were things that kind of we take pride in.
Yeah.
Negro, I done. So
I
that's
have,
like,
yeah.
I
We
done had to
champion, we
we
champion
champion struggle.
struggle.
We champion it.
But
And
but
that's
but
a
here's
big
the
thing.
thing.
That's a big thing. We just don't use that energy for productivity. We
There
don't
you go.
use that. We don't that because that's fire. I have people that I tutor. And one of my cornerstone uh, things that I push is you can have whatever you want in this country. It's all effort.
Yeah.
There's famous convicted felons that are movie stars. There are people who ran people up, movie stars. People who have been homeless, Tyler Perry, turned into
Okay.
media conglomerates. Like it's all effort. It's strategy, effort. If you make a good cupcake, you can be 100,000aire with effort.
That's right. You got
You
to
can
work.
stream, you can start streaming and become the next social media giant. It's content. Are you gonna be that guy that's dedicated into streaming and getting 3 videos uploaded on a weekly basis? Every week, 3 videos. Are you going to be that guy since you want a mobile detailing service? Are you going to be pushing your Instagram? Are you going to be showing up at events, car events, finding out where these car events is, passing out, putting in those extra money? You want to be a millionaire. America, you can do it,
That's right.
but it's not going to come with lawsuit money. Unfortunately, you might have to work. And the common denominator with all these guys that are ultra successful, Joe Bezos and all of those guys that have built their empire to where Mark Cuba, they put in some long hours, bro. Stuff was they're super rich now. Those beginning days pre-college, they had a vision and they stuck with that vision through this time, through that time, through this work, through working at McDonald's, bro. They stuck with
Yep.
it's the common denominator.
That's right. That's the difference. I
Work.
remember one time Will Smith said the difference between me and the guy that he says, if I get on the treadmill, he says, I'm willing to die on the treadmill. So the other guy might have more talent, but he ain't willing to walk on that treadmill until he dies. You know what I mean? So it's not really, like I said, it's not a secret to it. It's just who wants to get out there and really, really, really work. You know what I mean?
That's a
And
fact.
some people say they want it, but they don't really want it. They just kind of sort of want it a little bit. They don't want it. You know what I mean?
That's a fact, man. That's a
That
fact. I use this. So 2019, I just did this long drug program and 18 months. And going to jail, coming out, you got nothing.
no,
So I've been heavily into fraud, scam, all of that. And once I did that program, I kind of mentally made this change. Like this is it, and I wasn't necessarily into drugs. You know how that is. I took the program too.
yeah,
But so getting out, Like I'm a scammer and I got nothing. So, my sister was working. My sister had some connects. Where can I get a job? Where can I? Oh, you can go up there to day labor. I'm waking up early morning, going to day because I had nothing else to do. I got nothing else going on. I know where they're giving out $75. So it's working. I'm trying to figure out something, working. Another opportunity come. Oh, they have skilled labor, something called skilled trade day labor. So I
Uh-huh.
went and I lied on everything on the application. Only thing I told the truth about was my first and last name. I got this talent, that talent, that talent. But you know what I actually do have? I'm smart, so I can figure it out. Whatever job that you put in front of me, show me how to do it twice, and I'll be able to do it. By the end of the week, I'll be very good at it. In the 2 weeks, I'll be indispensable.
There you go.
And I've been a carpenter, I've been a plumber, I've been an electrician working for that skilled day labor until I was like, yep, I got enough money. Now it's time for me to get my own money. And I ventured off and I started doing other things, buying cars or whatever. Because in the beginning, when I'm getting that $75 check, I wasn't spending that because I like expensive stuff.
There you go.
I'm very materialistic in that I like to save money. I like to have money, but I like to spend. I only have maybe 100 years on this planet. So I like to enjoy and however it is. So however you're going to do your savings, you have to earn in this country
That's right.
and in this beautiful, great country, you can earn as much as you can. Nobody don't owe you.
That's right.
So, mad because you're only getting paid 13 an hour, mad because they not hiring, you're not looking. You're looking for a job and my looking for a job is two different things. Your effort, your 100% is probably my 30%.
I'm gonna tell you something. I was in New Mexico, right? And I needed a job. I only had $500, and I knew I needed the job before those $500 ran out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so they were hiring. The way how to get hired in New Mexico is you had to stand on the wall and they would pick you. And if they picked you for that day, then you got hired for that day. The first day I stood on the wall, there was 100 people, about 75 Mexicans, the rest white, maybe just me and another black dude, right? Um, I didn't get picked that first day. Second day, I'm inside of the hiring manager's office. I'm like, sir, listen, I know the rule is you're supposed to stay on the wall, but I'm here to let you know I need to work more than everybody else out there. I told him what my situation was. I said, I need to work more than anybody that's out there. That's why I'm in here. He said, well, do you know how to fabricate metal? I said, yes. Did I know how to fabricate metal? No. I had no idea what he was talking about. But I knew if it had anything with doing like keeping a straight line, I can do it because I cut hair. So I end up getting the job over everybody that was out waiting on the wall, right? Um, I got the job. He showed me how to cut the metal. I learned it in 2 days. In about 3 weeks, I was a MIG welder. I had learned how to MIG weld. You know what I mean? So I definitely concur with what you're saying. You got to want it out here.
And cats are sharp. Like I've met so many people. You said something earlier that struck a chord, man. And I kind of phrase it as you get in your own way. Like you people won't sacrifice for themselves. Like you'll have a lofty goal of wanting a BMW and wanting to do this and that, and there are issues and problems with you not getting that. And then when you look at it, when you break it down, because I sit and tell people, let's break down, let's write down where you want to go. Now let's write down why it is that you can't accomplish those things. And it all breaks down to when we unpeel all of that stuff, it's you get in your own way. I can't get a job. Well, when were you looking? Were you looking for a job or were you just asking people? And by asking people, maybe three people every other day. You know who hiring? And I've been looking for a job. No, you haven't. Because there's a lot of, as somebody who needs a job, like you're gonna go out there and get a job. If I told you you got 2 days to find a job or you will go to jail. And there's a period at the end of that sentence. You'll have a job by the end of the day, and
Listen,
it's almost 10 o'clock now. You know what I mean? You will,
you ain't saying nothing but the truth, man. Look, I'm a reader, and that same ideal was in a book that 50 wrote called The 50th Law of Power.
Mm.
And he talked about animals, right? He talked about that when a animal is in danger or in fear, it does whatever it has to do for that moment to get rid of that, whatever it is that got it into that state of fear.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of like human beings, right? When I'm in the red and I know I got to do this or else this is going to happen or this is going to happen, I'm going to do it some kind of way. I might not know exactly how, but I know I'm going to get that thing done, right? That energy, that adrenaline that flows through you at that particular moment when you have to do it or else is the same thing that a person could tap into
Right now.
right now.
Before the back is against the wall.
Before. That's what I'm saying.
Before the back is against the wall. I see, I'm gonna tell being successful is more than planning because I know every dorm that I've been in the chain gang, there's 20 planners in there besides me. So you can plan and hey, I got a great idea for a podcast. I got a great idea. Man, I got I'm a rapper. I got an album that's coming out. And I've got, I know a lot of dreamers, a lot of planners. But if you're not like 10 toes down, two steps, one step in front of the other, doing it, because nobody else, you know what? I read this, I forget where I read it, but nobody wants to hear your dream.
Real,
And I took that to heart. Like when I read it, like nobody wants to hear what you're finna do. They're finna do some stuff. And secretly, people they might not resonate being envious, but at the end of the day, like nobody wants to hear your aspiring dreams and that you're headed in this direction. That's why I just show what I'm doing.
That's
And
right.
I just push forward, and people's mental image of me may be bigger than what I actually am doing, but I'm doing. And I do on a consistent basis because I didn't have. I've always fought for me and my 2 cents and 3 cents all my life because I like being I'm a whole man. So my status is to be a breadwinner. I don't know what it's like to ask a woman for money. Let me hold $50. No, I got you when I come. I got you
Yo,
when I get right.
yo,
I don't know that feeling
bro, I
because
can't do it.
if I needed $50, I would ask my sister. I would ask my mother.
Yeah,
People who will give me that
yeah.
because they love me.
You know
I'm
what?
not.
You said something. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to. This is what happens, and I've been guilty of this, and I stopped it, right? So you know how you can have a great idea, and sometimes what happens is people the endorphins that you release when you're telling someone your great idea, sometimes that's all a person wants. If you understand what I'm saying,
Yep.
just that great conversation about the future and the things that you aspire to do, that feeling you get when you're telling someone, sometimes that's the furthest that people go with it. That's it, right? So I said I got to stop having these great conversations that just make me feel great. I just feel good for the moment, but I'm not putting no type of action behind it. I have I'm not even after I get through talking about it, it's like, man, what that felt. But that was a good conversation. But there's no action, so therefore it's not going to come to fruition. I'm not saving any money for it. I'm not doing nothing toward it.
And that's what separates our culture from other cultures.
That's right.
Look at how many Mexican run bodegas have you seen? How many Chinese run and Indian run gas stations and all of that? And we stereotypically put them in places, and so those programs are available to us. Those minority loans, but they know how to take a whole family or a whole clique and let's get a house.
That's
One,
right.
two, three, four, and you got your own thing going on. They know how to do that. They understand credit, and credit is a very real thing.
Yeah, it is.
And very young, we're kind of taught that like bump credit, and like our kids in our culture, we hear these things as a, oh, that's gonna have to wait. When you see mom with the new hairdo and all that, oh, I need money on my, because the phone, but like kids see that. So these bills aren't important, whereas it's the most important thing you got going on, because it's all about profitability, gaining capital, paying bills. That's what an adult is. Paying for the roof over your head, providing food, and then all the other stuff comes after that.
That's
That's the
right.
materialistic, because that's what's on your TV and the billboards, the commercialism. So they're trying to get you to buy the t-shirts and the lollipops and Tide bleach. They want you to buy all of this stuff. Those aren't necessities. Your necessity is your roof, your transportation. But they don't want you, they want you to have a fancy transportation, a fancy house. You know, in other cultures, such things such as like shopping, grocery shopping, there's a whole difference in how we shop, they shop. We shop, we go to Publix or wherever, and we fill that grocery store up. We fill that
Hmm.
grocery cart up. 300, 400 bucks, you know, we spend. Look at the other cultures. Like they go out to the meat market. They go to the marketplace, and they grab some bread. They shop for the day. It maybe last 2 days because leftovers will spice it up a different way. They shop for 2 days. And then to Wednesday, they'll go and they'll get more stuff, eggs, a few eggs for, we're just a whole different separate culture. Everything is supersized, mix supersized, and
Yeah.
the big family size. And we
Yeah.
have stores dedicated to just selling supersized. We don't need all them toilet papers. You offer a discount, it's, we got it. I want it. And it's just our culture. It's our culture. We've gone away from credit and economic savvy. They don't want you to be that. They want you to be that economic slave, because the real currency is time.
That's right.
You clock in, and I'm buying 8 hours today of your time, and I'm giving you $10 an hour, $15 an hour. While you're here, while I have you for those 8 hours, I'd like you to do this, that, put you on the cash register. But they're buying your time. This is why the guys with the big money, now I don't have to be here running my company. I can hire you to. You can delegate responsibility on down the ladder. So the real thing is the time. This is why they penalize you with it. Guilty. And I want 3 years. They don't put hefty fines on you and make you go out and labor it out. No, I'm going to take what's the most valuable thing on this planet, time.
Uh,
We just can't quantify it. We can't put it in a bottle and sell it. If they could, they would be. There'd be an
that's right.
infomercial on it down the Super Bowl. Oh, you done got me to getting deep. I ain't even know. All
Listen.
right, guys, tune in next week because I got to get the hell up off of here.
Yeah, but look, Bruce Lee said one time, he said, if you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made up of. You know what I'm saying? So that resonates with me.
Yeah,
Um, time is money. That's exactly what
and
that
don't
is.
waste it. I think the more advanced I get in the age, I start valuing time. Like I
Yeah.
wake up, I'm an early riser. So I'm a kind of type of cat that I'm up 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I work for myself, and I'm up early. I love the feeling of being up before everybody else. I love the feeling that 8 o'clock come 9 o'clock, the world kind of is up and Adam. I've been up for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I've already got a 3 hour head start on you. Steve Harvey said something I saw. He said, "Do you know somebody who loves to sleep? Always, sleep late and all that. Ain't they po?
That's right.
Ain't they po? Like I don't, and that resonates with me. Mind you, I'm the type I don't need much sleep. I don't. I get it from my dad. I don't need much sleep, but I love getting up early. I'm a planner. I like laying seeds for tomorrow and next week, getting and having and accomplishing for next week's time. If something was happening, emergency, I've got stuff that I did last week, week before last, that I can fall back on because I'm the guy that everyone calls when they need help, they need guidance, they need advice, they need money. I'm the guy. And I relish in that because I am a rock. And I think that that's my place to be a rock. I think that's every strong man's position, that they're supposed to be a rock. And I think we lose that. I think it's a lost art. I think people, YNs nowadays, feel like being a man is being the toughest when that's not being wise or a man at all. Like a man is getting into a situation and knowing that he can defeat this person, knowing I'm bigger, stronger, better, and you just don't know. So that's that man that looks and you right, you know what, you got that. Because I'm a man.
Yeah.
I can see all the consequences. You
That's right.
can't. Your comprehension level is different. Two dogs, when they get into a disagreement, what do they do? Two birds, two cats, they fight. It's primitive. But I actually have a piece of intelligence. So I can reason. I can see past this situation.
Yeah, the rah
And I
rah.
think
What a person like that has is they're dealing in verbal judo. Know what I mean? And they have what you call, they mastered the art of de-escalation. Know what I mean? So I'm faced a lot of times with situations, and I am thinking from the standpoint of, if I do this, this is what's going to happen, without a doubt. I know I'm going to jail. I'm going to need some bond money. I already know what it's going to be. So I'm thinking from that, right? Even in this escalated situation, we're going back and forth. I already see that we're not going to be able to reason. I'm de-escalating. I'm backing and getting up out of there. Know what I mean? Because I'm not going to waste my time in jail. Because
people, I don't know why people don't see that clearly. Like the majority of craziness, violence, or whatever you're in jail for, what it's all over some bull. It all started over some, usually 19 out of 20 times, it was over some BS.
I'm gonna
And
almost say,
I got to show it.
I'm gonna almost say 20 out of 20 when it's broken all the way down.
All the way down.
Right? Like when you take all the gatherer off of it. Know what I mean? And you break it all the way down to where the rubber meets the road at. It was some bullshit.
It was
two men, if they were men, right? If they were real men and they could have had a conversation. But see, what happens a lot of time is one man knows how to articulate what he wants to say, and another one doesn't. So
and I'm at the time in my life where the other party is irrelevant.
Yeah.
I can be disrespected. And right now, where I am in life, I assess who you are. And I feel like you have to be worthy to be my enemy, for me to invest my time in retribution. Because I stand to lose too much. And there's no way, because I understand the consequences.
That's right.
Jail, bond, lawyer, fear, all those waking up in the mornings to go to court.
That's right.
And I see that. Yep. And I see that immediately. So should I just block him and let him get that into your whole circle of friends or whoever, sixes, a FN, and that old scary dude and all that? I don't have to prove anything to you. Bless you. I don't have to prove anything. And I think that listen, I have a best friend. His name's London. Shout out London. And there was an incident that he had came to me a long time ago. He had a friend and they were kind of cool or whatever. London's younger, so he had his age group, and they were kind of cool. London was trying to get cool with him, but there was always something off about him with London. They would always and London he's real young, but he has an old soul. So he gave him a shot, but it finally came to a head. They didn't mess with each other no more. London had given him some shoes that he was supposed to pay him for. And the cat was like, you buck, FN, come get him. And London called me and was like, man, I'm about to see bottom. I'm about to see bottom, man, and all that. And, the guy's known to have friends and all of that. So I'm like, so London, you're my best friend. If anything happens, when you call me, I'm halfway there. Two things I want you to know. For one, whatever your situation is, gauge it because you're bringing me involved. And I'm 100% on your side. So if I got to come, however I got to come, that's how I'm coming because
But
I
see,
know that you will come to me.
that's a
Two,
real OG though, right?
yep. But
That
two, I want you to assess the situation. Is whoever you're calling your resources for worth it?
exactly. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm the kind of person that I am not gonna lead no one that I love into any dummy missions. You know what I mean? Look, if I have to look a certain kind of way to the public, that's fine. I'm at an age in my life at this point, man, where I'm not out looking for new friends. Know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Everybody that I accumulate along the way is a blessing at this point. You know what I mean? So I don't have nothing to prove to nobody at this point. Nothing, 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 nothing. And that's what's missing is the real OGs. Like the ones that'll pull you to the side and assess, like will help you assess it and say, check this out. Is this what we're doing now?
We just had a conversation about that. He's a gambler.
Yeah.
And he was just, and I'd heard through somebody else, hey man, I seen your boy at the casino. So I just text him randomly. Hey man, stay your ass out that casino, bro. And he gave me a call, man. I was just thinking about that. So say, you're a friend. You're a real friend, such and such, and all that. I said, yeah, I want to see you win. And when I say that, that's just it's not a catchphrase.
Yeah.
I want to see you win. And it has nothing to do with me financially helping you financially helping me giving you to connect on whatever. That has nothing to do with it. I will encourage you. I will give you constructive criticism. If you stank, if your body you stink, you're my friend. And as such,
Exactly.
you are a direct reflection of me because I
Fact.
claim you. I claim you. You know what I mean? And I don't think that there's those connections anymore. I feel like my circle is a direct reflection of me. If I could choose it, I'd be the brokest cat in my circle. If I could choose it, but I can't, I don't have it like that. So I make sure my whole circle is doing. My whole circle is because if you're my friend, if you're my circle, you have every resource that I have available to you. But I have to know that you feel that way about me.
That's right.
And I'm not the type I don't call in favors. The favors are called in from me. But I need to know sincerely that if I give you a call and it's in your wheelhouse, that you'll be as forthcoming as I am. And you also have to bring some type of value to the table. If you're just a nobody cat, unfortunately, we can't be friends. I
Yeah,
bring too much meat and potatoes to the table to be associated with. Unfortunately,
well,
we can be
that's
texting, but
actually
on Instagram.
unfortunately and fortunately because sometimes, man, we can be guilty of we have to be reciprocated.
Oh, that's a
Or
fact.
if you're putting out energy to somebody that don't even possess the ability to reciprocate it back, then you're killing yourself because
You're digging a hole. If I don't have a friend in my circle that when we sit down, they don't have the weed money, or they don't, they coming over to smoke, or we decide to go to Ybor City and hang out or whatever, and I got a friend that ain't got no more. We got to kind of cut our eyes to this Negro got enough to get in.
and listen,
Like I
first
don't
of all,
I don't I don't I don't roll in that circle.
shout out to Ybor City. I ain't been to Ybor City in so long, man.
Negro, you ain't missing nothing. Same Evo. Same cats going through. No, I love Ebor, man. I'm a fan of Tampa. I'm from Queens, New York, but I've been
Yeah.
in Tampa for a while, and I'm a fan of Tampa. Tampa has a lot of Tampa is like a city, a country city to me.
Yeah,
Cats are kind of country a little bit. These Negroes around here, a little country, but it's city. It's definitely got a city vibe. It's fast for a country.
it
It's
is.
fast. It's plenty of stuff around here. Everything going on. Some of everything.
Yeah,
Drops, fraud, scamming, carjackings, gangs,
yeah,
strip clubs,
all over the
midnight,
place.
yeah, night scene, day scene, a little some of everything. So let me ask you this. I looked at one of your inspirational videos, and I forget the tone of it. I'll probably put a little while we're talking, I'll put something up. But it boiled down to I wrote the question down. Do you feel like money is the root to all evil?
I don't feel like money is the root of all evil. I feel like the love of it is, right? So, because you need money. I mean, it can't, I mean, you need money for a lawyer, you need money for food, you need money for the housing. So money in itself is not the root of all evil. I
But then
believe
these
the
people are chasing money. They're chasing it. It's got to be evil. They'll do
well,
anything for it.
well, yeah, they will, but the money itself, it's the individual, right? Um, it brings out certain things inside of individuals that otherwise, if they didn't have the money, they wouldn't be able to do it. You know what I mean? Um, like Nate Newton. Do you remember Nate Newton played he was an offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm a Dallas Cowboy hater, so I don't know. Oh, Nate Newton. Nate Newton is he's like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, yeah,
Nate
yeah.
Newton. Okay. I'm a
You know,
Philadelphia Eagle, by the
he
way. Are you a Dallas Cowboy fan?
I'm a Buccaneer slash Dallas Cowboy back in the day when Dion was there.
That ends this interview, guys.
No,
Tune
I
in
don't
to
do
us
that.
next week. Dallas Cowboy fan. Man, I'd
Well,
rather see a monkey with a diamond ring than Dallas with anything, man. Golly,
I don't
man.
believe. Listen, I honestly, I don't believe that money itself is the root of all evil, but it brings out character in people when they get it. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
believe just the opposite. And like I have a Caucasian friend that he's an awesome cat. He's a instructor, professor or instructor at USF here. He
Okay.
teaches music. He teaches music. Um, but we play chess. He's like my chess buddy. We're from two totally different walks of life, and but our common ground is chess. So he comes over and plays chess, semi often when he can, and we have these conversations. And he's very liberal, and I'm very much, I guess, I'm capitalistic. I don't know the terms and labels and
Mm-hmm.
parties and stuff, but he feels he doesn't like the big guys like Mark Cuba and Joe Bezos. All these guys are the enemy, and they have enough money to do this with the homeless and that, and they get this money and it changes them, and these people become crazy. And I'm like, everything you said is absolute facts. If you get a whole bunch of money and it doesn't change you, you won't have that money for long. And it's just, you could be Sister Mother Marie, and she gets a whole bunch of incalculable money. It's going to change you as a person because your stresses are different. I don't think the money is the evil. It amplifies the person. If you're a weak person, you're one of the people that a bunch of money and all of a sudden you commit suicide from drug overdoses and all of that kind of stuff. You were just a weak person.
That's
Like
right.
people, there are other people who accumulate money, and because they're driven, all they do is make money, make money, make money, come up with this business, that business. Well, Bezos can help why? Michael Jordan can, donate. He don't do nothing for the community. I mean, it's not his duty. He
And
can. It's not his. He amassed that working in the gym. Like he amassed that. That is his. He is the American dream. And then we have all the people that now that he's accomplished it, now all the crab hands are pulling and judging him and
Well,
all of that. You can be doing so much more.
well, here's the thing, though. I believe that before, like, people been talking about reparations, right?
Mm.
So my thing is this: we need therapy first here, because they did a study that even if they divided all the money evenly to everyone, I mean, even Jeff Bezos, everyone, Mark Cuban, Michael Jordan, they stripped everybody of all their money and rendered it evenly. In 4 or 5 years, everybody who had it before will have it again. You know what I mean?
Everybody that was in debt will be back in debt.
We'll be back in debt, right? So I think before we think about, okay, all the things they could donate, what's his name? TD Jakes. I remember living when I lived in Texas, right? He has this thing called the Potter's House, right? When he first got it, it was brand new, brand spanking new. And what he did is he moved homeless people inside of that Potter's House. Within a year, it looked like the projects. We need therapy. We need therapy first. We need to change the mindset before we get the line in people's pockets.
I don't want to single it to one culture, our
Yeah.
culture. You
No,
know what I
no.
mean? It's a generation.
Yes.
It's the youth. It's a accumulation of minds that have been lost. And I'm a proponent. I am a fan of technology. I'm a fan of AI. I'm a fan of phones because like this phone is a resource unlike anything else. Like as a child, I didn't have information on tap like this. Like it baffles me the questions that I get all the time, like for guidance or whatever. And I just pick up the phone and Google. Google information that is readily available at your fingertips is crazy. It's just people don't understand how to ask the question, what questions to ask in order to get the right answer, the answer you're looking for. And for nature sometimes is to kind of give it a try and that doesn't work. And I'll just call somebody or I can't figure it out when there are these days literally YouTube tutorials on everything,
That's right.
on everything. Like, and YouTube has helped me select and pick and figure out so much because there's how to, there's Google, there's it's effort. And if you're not putting in the effort, again, full circle, we'll come right back to the full circle. If you're not putting in the effort, who will for you? Because I feel like if you don't single yourself as being the most important person in your universe, how can you succeed? Like you have to be a little selfish.
Yeah.
You have to say, okay, I am gonna do what is best for me. And in doing what's best for me, I can take care of you.
That's
So
right.
I might have to say no to giving you $20 today. I can help you get $100 next week. I know what I can do with my last $20. I know I can
That's right.
multiply. So it's that 20 is better in my pocket. And I'm smart enough, wise enough to know that. I say no 5, 6 different languages. So saying no to me comes easy. And if you're my friend, you'll know how to accept that.
Yeah, because when you know that that person has no ill will towards you, then it becomes a positive no. It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative no. And it no, a lot of times when people ask you questions and ask you for things and they're dear to you, they assume the answer is going that it should just be yes.
Oh, because you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. And that is correct. I have it because of the sacrifices that I made.
That's right.
And
And
and I amass financial comfortability because I'm credit savvy. And it's no secret, like I've told this on podcasts, like I have lines of credit and I build my credit and I pay my credit cards faithfully. And I make all my gas and food and all on these credit cards, building up these points. And huge chunk. I make thousands of dollar payments on my card to keep it below a threshold. And they're constantly, hey, you want to improve your credit? Hey, you want another credit card? Nope, I got one. And this one happens to be accepted everywhere. Everywhere. It's all about credit, man. It's all about credit. And Elon Musk famously bought Twitter off of credit. Didn't spend a penny. Used his Tesla stocks. They were like, all right, you can buy. You worth billions. You could nope, not touching a penny. Well, we'll take your Tesla stocks. Nope, you're not touching those either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 2 or 3 banks and I'm going to borrow money against the stocks. So I didn't actually give you a secured loan. I didn't give you any cash for this loan. I'm borrowing this money because I got this money over here. So
right.
he took that money for those banks, purchased Twitter, and now off of the proceeds and revenue off of that, he pays off the loan. Now he's purchased another asset with his asset and hasn't come out his pocket a penny. Is it cheating the system? It's finding ways to use the system.
That's right.
And he's afforded that because he's worked the system. Jeff Bezos was working in the office. He was, making 40, 50 grand a year. And he had a vision. And when it first started out, it was horrible. Then they were looking at Amazon like it was the Antichrist. That's killing the small businesses. It's called production. Not production. It's called advancement. We have to advance as a society. People are scared of AI. It's the future. It's coming. Just like back in my day, our day, the phones and computers. Computers were just kind of coming. I remember older heads was like, man, them computers. Man, I don't use no cell phone. Won't be on me. All I got is a pager. You won't be having me tied down like that because the man. Fast forward, they give away cell phones to homeless because everyone has to be connected. You can barely survive without a phone now.
That's right.
The Jits don't know how to get from cross town without Google. I distinctly remember me and my dad having to stop at 7-Eleven, getting a atlas, the paper maps, him opening it up on the steering wheel, figuring it out, cross street. Oh, okay, all I got to do is, and we're going to get lost, and he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. We were using different parts of our brain. So I don't think that we've gotten dumber in time because we don't use, it's just different resources available to us. So our minds have to advance differently because in 20 years, AI will be so present everywhere that it'll be helping us make much more informed decisions on everything. There'll be a lot less hit or miss with stuff because we'll be able to tap into so much more information to help us make different decisions. Fast forward, it'll be helping us develop cures for diseases. We'll be traveling space with AI computed algorithms. Like AI is a thing. It's coming. There's no stopping it. You just got to get in front of it. This is why I'll be paying the little 1099 for a AI course so I can for that chat GPT, how to ask it the proper questions. And it can give you a refined answer with this plethora of knowledge that it has. Like I love it. I wish I was 12 going into this era of all of this stuff. You can literally, I know a guy, bro, that is pretty chill. By chill, I respectfully lazy. And he door dashes, and that's his job. So he gets to wake up when he wakes up, and okay, I'm finna get ready. And he hops in the car and he makes stuff, and then he's done for the day. Grab him a little sack of weed and all of that. And in this day and age, you can have your own business. You can have your own business like DoorDash, Uber. I know a lady that stays in the complex that she's fully independent. She delivers Amazon packages out of her little SUV. Her little back is set up to Uber. It's got the little garbage can, her little quota a day. And she gets up. She's up early. I walk my dog early. She's up, wiping the dew off the window up early. and she makes her money. And she's got a nice SUV and she lives comfortably. She dresses nice, but she works, she puts in hours.
That's
It's
right.
times I walk that dog late and that car, that SUV is gone because she out in the field getting
Man, I'm
to
gonna
it.
tell you. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Just 2 days ago, I cranked up my Walmart Spark, and in 2 days, it had me thinking about doing that full time.
Doing what?
Walmart Spark.
Oh, you know, that's a thing. Like
I mean,
being a
in two,
courier,
yeah,
being a courier, especially like if you have a truck,
yeah,
um, what are those
printer vans or something.
transit sprinter
Yeah,
van? That's the word I'm looking for. So and you get into business with yourself and you could contract the truck out. So you're doing routes. You pick up, go to O'Reilly's and pick up this, and on the way back, you're picking up supplies from here. You get on
yeah,
these courier kind of chain email things. You sign up, pop, okay, I'm gonna take that on the 5th and all of that. There's this day and age that we're in right now, there's so many opportunities. By so many, I mean so many opportunities, man,
you ain't
that
lying.
we didn't have. And like for you to for a person to say like I don't have it and I'm struggling, I'm almost like, man, you're kind of getting in your own way. Like people are making money off of this platform, this, and all it is me and you having a grown man conversation. It's a fire conversation. We record it, put it out to the masses, and then all these people be like, you know what, that is a good conversation, and we get paid off of it. Well,
That's
I
right.
do. You know what I mean? But like there's something this day and age, like you can find a passion, and if you do it, if you what's the saying? If you if you do what you love, you'll love what you do, or something
Something,
like that,
something to
or
that effect.
something to that effect. So it's not work. You're actually doing something that you're passionate about.
That's right.
And it just takes a will, bro. A will. And I just I guess I'm built a little different because like I don't like being broke. And I don't do well with depression. That's never been my thing. Um, yeah, I get a little anxiety. I guess everyone gets that, but like I don't get down in the dumps. I get active, and I directly have my father to thank for that because he's always been all since I've known him. He's always been up early and gone to work.
That's right.
And every time as a kid going downtown with him, going, son, I'm gonna take my son out. Everybody, hey, Manny, always was respected. Like when, he'll walk in a room and everybody is respectful of him. And like I used to like idolize that. Like, dang, I want to be like that. Like I just thought my dad just knew everything, as a kid. I'm always asking him stuff. And like he would tell me stuff. And why, how do you know that? Like, why is the sky blue? And he'd give me this whatever parent answer. And I'd just be kind of looking at him like, man, you
And
just know
amazing.
everything. Yep, you know everything. People look to you. I would see people look to him for advice. I would see him be manly around other men, and they respect that. I'd see
And
him
see,
diffuse
that was great.
situations.
See,
Yeah.
I had a mentor passed away about a year and a half ago, and that's what I mean when I say a man's man. He was a man's man. So here we are around a bunch of men, and he was a man's man. They looked up to him for advice and counseling and just whatever they needed help with. They looked at him, and he instilled that same thing in me. You know what I mean? Just by me being there watching him operate.
And we're missing that, I think, in our society, like those very positive role models. And I know in my circle, I try to be that. I try to be, I practice stoicism. And that's kind of like, let me get the definition of stoicism.
That's like setting your face like a flint.
Stoicism is in simple terms, is an ancient philosophy that teaches you to live a good, virtuous life by focusing on what you can control and accept what you can't in its basic terms. And through accepting stuff, accepting what is, there's a calm. So there's a lack of anxiety with this situation, that situation, because what is, my anxiety can't change it. And if I can change it, let's put that into action. But the crying, the depression, the anger, the fighting, that doesn't work. Like me and you get into an argument and you're a grown man and such the fisticuffs don't work. Then what? You beat me up, then what? I beat you up, then what? Let's say it's no police. We just had this fight and it's, you won. Then what? You proved that you were right. So, and I'm past that where I need to prove to anyone that I'm tough because I've grown to learn that toughness is like a virtue for the poor. Like the men that can't be smart, intelligent, strong minded, they can be a bully.
Yeah.
They can be, so it's easy to go around and got the face and I'm tough and one of you FNs can get it and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's you can do that. You can solidify that. Can you advise me on how I change my credit? Can you teach me as a younger man than you, because you the tough guy on the block, you the guy, you the man. Can you teach me how to balance this checkbook? Can you help me? I'm trying to get a place. Can you help me on how do I fill out this application? You know where the jobs,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So and that's what's hard. And that's what tells like what kind of man you are. How can you guide a person? What and then that's I think where the man comes in.
That's
Because
right.
those tough guys call me. And around situations and all that, it don't matter. Even in prisons and jail, I've never been in a gang or none of that. I'm in the middle of everything. I'm on the poker table. I'm a big football, basketball, and whatever's going on out there, they know for a fact six ain't with that shit. Like we can get to an argument or whatever. It can even be on some whatever it is, but the situation has to. Six is a grown man in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've had situations where me and the cat just can't get along for whatever reason, and I've stepped to the leader of the Bloods. Like I don't like T-Bone. Can I get a fade with him? Like can he be a man and deal with his manly issues, or is the rest of the crew coming? Because we don't have to answer that question. I can't beat all of y'all up. I don't want to do the line up each and every cat, because if that's what it takes, then he's right, I'm wrong, then I'll be whatever it is that he's claiming. But
That's
what
right.
I would like to do is verify whatever manly issue that he has, because I can fight. What I can't do is I don't want the sneaking of the knife in there because you guys can't take, he got an L. I'm not going to run this back next week because he couldn't take this L. I want to be done and over with. Like I know how to communicate.
That's right.
And I think that is a lost art, communication. Anytime I go to a job, any application, I'm going to talk. I'm not checking yes on convicted felon.
You don't have to
I'm
listen.
I'm lying on everything on there as far as my skills. 8 years of this, 10 years of that, and all of these are companies that have been shut down. Circuit City, I was a manager there. All of the cash and carry, I was a lead cashier there. And now when I come and sit down at this interview, I'm finna wow you. I'm fit because I know what they're thinking when they're. Can I envision this person working here? And I'm ready to answer that question. I'm ready to show you that I will be indispensable to your company. I know how to sell myself. I know how to speak. I know how to enunciate. I know how to communicate. And that's where men fail. They don't know how to communicate.
They don't know how to get their point across without, like you say, fisticuffs. And a lot of times why that comes is because they can't get their point across. They don't know how to articulate what's in their mind. So because they can't, then here comes the secondary emotion, right? The really what's happening is that they're embarrassed, right? But because they don't know how to even express embarrassment, they just automatically get angry, which is not the real emotion. It's always something else that you can't express. So instead of expressing that, you just say you angry. This person pissed me off, and you want to fight. Like a long time ago, I used to have a real bad stuttering problem, and because I had it in my head, I couldn't get it out my mouth. And because I was losing the discussion, I just want to fight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I know that's what it is, especially dealing with someone who knows how to carry himself in a conversation. It's a sad thing that nowadays you just don't have a bunch of men that can do that. So instead of that, they'll either A, shut down, or they'll want to fight. Or if you're at a job and you're talking to the manager, they'll fire you because they can't handle it. You know what I mean? And that's just one of the that's what I call the gift and the curse of being able to articulate yourself and really get the point across.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I have a friend that fights with his baby mama every day. Been fighting for many moons, many years. And it's gotten to, whatever points, like police, and it's unhealthy. You know what I mean? There's been times that whatever. It all breaks down to communication. Like you feel disrespect. And now at this point, they've had so many arguments where she knows exactly the buttons.
That's right.
She knows the buttons. This is why they can get into whatever it is they get into and they make up because she knows the buttons. And it's because you guys aren't communicating. And not just boyfriend, girlfriend, not that dynamic, friends, street acquaintances, there's no communication. Like I understand, like I can tell you, hey, listen, I don't like that. That's disrespectful to me. And that's such and such, and I'm okay with that because that's your mouth and that's your feelings or that's the way you do things. Way back when I used to, sell weed or whatever, I can't control how you drive your car. If you would like to come to me, there's a certain way I'd like you to pull up. If you can't honor that, unfortunately, we can't do business. And I approach that with everything, because I don't like, I trim the fat out of all my associates, acquaintances, run-ins with people. I don't like drama. I don't like bull. And there's no money in it. Beefing and all of that, there's no profit in it. There's no profit margin in it. There's no progress in it. Dealing with cats that ain't going nowhere. There's nothing in it. You won't go nowhere if your homeboy ain't going nowhere. So I can't kind of be around you. I don't want you coming over and hanging out with me because you're not going nowhere. Like I need somebody that sits and when we sit, we start plotting because we're always wanting not to be here. Even when we got it, we want to be there.
That's right.
And there. And we're coming up with food truck ideas and this idea and that we're not sitting around talking about licks and what I can come up on an easy way.
That's right.
Now there's licks involved sometimes and whatever the case may be, but it's planning, bro. Like I've got stuff lined up and it's easy to be successful. You just got to start. You have to do it.
That's the key. Start.
Just like you're into fitness, heavy. You do your thing. And people probably ask you, "Oh, man, I want to, how you get, or how you, man, you got to go." I don't happen to go to a gym. I've got the perfect pull-up. I've got the perfect push-up. And I've got these resistant bands. And I'm active every day. I do what I call my lazy workouts. I'll walk by the kitchen, let me knock out these 10 pull-ups. Every day I'm doing something. Then those times where I really want to work, then I can give myself this half hour, 45, whatever it is. But every day I'm gonna do something because it's just effort. I don't have to go buy a 6-pack. If I do it crunches enough, I can get one.
There you go.
People be like, "Man, you got out of prison. You look real good." Because I had time in there to sit down and do push-ups. I got the same time I got out here. It's just that I didn't want to get on the floor and do them push-ups. I walk my dog. I make sure when I walk my dog, I do 25 push-ups. He poop, I do 25. And he's a double pooper, triple pooper sometimes. But it's always a thing. While he preoccupied, I'm gonna knock out me some. It's just a commitment. Every day I take a shower, I always give myself 2 minutes at the end of the shower, ice cold water. For what? Just to push myself. Just to do something where I'm just pushing myself. Okay, that's enough. I've gotten used to it now. Now okay, that's enough. I saw that somewhere. I saw that daily motivational thing. Push yourself. Start the day pushing yourself.
There you go.
so I don't get in my way. I've been pushing myself all day. It ain't number 10 o'clock a.m. I done already pushed myself, you know. You done got me preaching. I said I wasn't gonna preach until
Yo, man, I'm loving it, man. Loving it, loving it, loving it. You I'm gonna tell you, man, you are very, very intriguing. Uh, your interviews are intriguing. I don't know what it is. Some people got it and some people don't, man. I don't know what it is, but I think it's the detail in which when you're talking about certain things that you've been in, you really detail it out to a point that I can see it. You know what I
thank
mean?
you.
I
Thank
can
you.
see it. I can see how that can work. You know what I'm saying?
I paid him $10 for that, guys. So that's a paid endorsement, guys. So thank you for that. Thank you,
Yeah,
man. I started with Matt Cox, and when I went over there and did the interview, I was like, man, this is something that I seem like I want to kind of do and stuff, man. And man, it is effort. Like you have a good flow of how you talk and how you conduct. You pick up on the cues. It's
there
my
you
turn to
go.
talk. It's your turn to talk. So, and that's just natural for you. If you just after your third interview, fourth interview, I can see it. You'll be there because you understand it. You understand the talk. You understand the respect level of who you're speaking to and everything.
Yeah,
It's just a thing where you're just kind of flowing. And especially if you're speaking about things that you're passionate about, such as yourself, like the state of our community,
yeah,
the state of just relationships in general. And because I see you guys, and make sure you guys check him out. His Instagram is hot. He's also on YouTube, and I'll leave that link in the description. At Drex, that's Drex 1030. Check out that page. You guys remember to go over there and like and subscribe too. But he is doing this thing, and I see that coming at you. We just gotta just keep going. One thing I learned about from dealing with Matt, and shout out Matt Cox over there at True Crimes, man. He is at it. Like he is very dedicated. Like that is his job. And I haven't gotten to that point yet. I still have a lot of personal stuff, and this is more of the hobby that I'm serious about. That man with the emails and the guests and the like he is at it, laptoping, he's talking to people and all that. He's very dedicated into his craft, and I get to see that, and it resonates. It does. So thank you for that. I do appreciate that, guys. We are actually going to wrap this up. We've been on talking y'all ears off for an hour and a half now. We'll probably edit down some of that.
yeah.
But listen, if you guys have been here for this long, thank you so much for staying tuned. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe, share it, spread the wealth. We are at a quadrillion subscribers. We're trying to hit that 2K mark uh, by the end of May, June, July. I got some interviews. I'm going out of state and doing God, I forget the guys, but I got to go to Vegas and then go to Cali within this next month. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna have some links on that. But thank you guys for your support. Remember to hop on Drex's IG, check him out, and his Instagram, YouTube. Support the movement. Support the movement, guys. Thank you so much, Drex, man. I do definitely appreciate it. Peace.